All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Welcome to our CCMS virtual back to school night. I know we're fully back in person, but still for COVID precautions, we wanted to do this virtually. Also for accessibility reasons, it's much easier to log in from home after your very busy day. So thank you for joining us this extra hour. We really appreciate it. We'll start with some introductions. My name is Principal Villafranca, and I have 3 assistant principals with me. We only have 2 this evening, and I will let them introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is David Holly. I'm the 7th grade assistant principal.
Good evening. My name is Tatiana Takahashi, and I'm the 8th grade assistant principal.
Thank you. And we also have Ms. Markuson, who's the 6th grade assistant principal, who unfortunately could not join us tonight. And then we have our awesome team of counselors, and I'll let them introduce themselves as well.
Hi, Panther parents. My name is Miss Slemons. I have last names A through D and L.
Hi, parents. My name is Miss Lizotte. I have last names E through G and also K.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Miss Mappa, and I have students with last names N through R and also M.
I think Mr. Nova is still coming in from the waiting room. So we also have our 4th counselor, Mr. Nova. He has last names S through Z. Oh, is he here?
Thank you. I am able to talk now. I have last names S through Z, and I'm Mr. Nova.
Thank you, counseling team. Ok, para español también vamos a tener esta presentación en español. Nos vamos a presentar todo otra vez. Por favor, oprima el botón que está abajo que dice Breakout Rooms y oprima ahí para entrar a la sala en español. Vamos a hacer la presentación en español. Así que si gusta ir a la presentación en español, por favor vaya al botón donde dice Breakout Rooms y métase al breakout room. Y si no lo haya, por favor solo pongan en el chat hola o cualquier palabra en español y lo hacemos nosotros de nuestra parte. So English speaking parents, 3 of us are going to break out to the Spanish breakout room and we'll do the presentation in Spanish, but you have an awesome team that will do the English presentation in this room.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started as people are transitioning. Okay, so the first slide here, we wanted to talk about things to bring with you, things that your students should have with them as they come to school each day. They should have their CCUSD issued Chromebook. It should be fully charged. They also need to make sure they have some type of water bottle that can be refilled at our water fill stations. The individual spouts for students to drink water is not in use currently, just for safety precautions, well, with COVID. And they also need to have their ID cards. So the students will use their ID cards for the free lunch and also to exchange for equipment, to borrow equipment during lunchtime, like basketballs and footballs. So they will also need their ID cards. Then continuing with what to bring and how to make sure our backpacks are light. So some things to keep in mind is that as your students are packing up or preparing for each day, that they can organize their bags to make sure that they only bring what's needed for that day. For their odd days, they can have an odd folder for 1, 3, 5. And for the even days, they can have their even folder for 2, 4, 6, so that they're not bringing everything every single day. So they should only bring the things that they need on those days so that their backpacks are lighter. If you're packing a lunch for your students, CCUSD or CCMS offers free lunch for all students so they can enjoy the free lunch that's being offered. If they have their ID card or if they know their number, they can take advantage of that and maybe bring a light snack. So once again, make sure the charge is there, the Chromebook is fully charged. The science notebooks, a lot of science teachers are using notebooks in every class, but it does not have to be taken home. Those notebooks can be left in class. And if they need to study for a test, then they can take their notebooks home so that they are prepared for that test that may be coming up after the weekend. Additionally, CCMS offers time trackers or provided time trackers for all the students, and it doesn't necessarily have to be brought back and forth. Students can use Google Calendars and keep track of the tasks, and also in Google Classroom, students will have a list of all the upcoming assignments. So there's various ways for students to keep track of their upcoming assignments, just to stay on top of those tasks.
All right, as we're transitioning back to in-person, we really want to focus on keeping our Panther community clean. We know that our students have been at home for many, many months. Maybe gotten used to leaving their belongings around, a shoe here, a sock over there. I think everyone at home can kind of relate with that. We're seeing a little bit of that starting to happen on our campus. So just want to really highlight that personal belongings are your Panther's responsibility. So their belongings are moving with them. So if they want to bring some extra stuff, they need to make sure that as they're moving from class to class, that they're keeping track of that. We also want you to just think before you bring something, do I need this for school today? Don't bring expensive items that must get lost or that might get lost or that you'll really miss if you lose. So just doing that internal question, do I really need this today? We also are really encouraging all of our Panthers to throw away their trash. So the Panther Plaza is our outdoor eating space. The birds know when our students leave a bunch of food out in the Panther Plaza and they come swarming. But guess when they aren't there, when the kids aren't leaving their trash around. So make sure that our Panthers are picking up that trash and keeping that a safe and clean area. Again, just to highlight what Mr. Holly said, bring a water bottle and write your name on it. We have lots of water bottles that look the same. We want to make sure you have your name on it. And if you have lost a water bottle or a hoodie or a binder or a something so far this year, make sure that you're checking the lost and found. That's right next to the blue gate. So just another layer of help and keeping track of those belongings. Remember in elementary or back in daycare when you had to write their name on every little thing? This might be time to do that again. So if you're noticing that your Panther is having trouble keeping track of their belongings, make sure you put their name on it, at least put their name on the water bottle so we can get it back to them and make sure that everyone stays hydrated here on campus. Additionally, we know how excited everyone is to be here, and we're so excited to have you as well. And also, we need to keep our hands to ourselves when we're here on campus. So making sure that during unstructured times, that students are keeping their hands to themselves and taking advantage of our hand washing stations or sanitizing often. So during passing periods, really just encourage your Panther to get where they're going, use the bathroom if they need it, but keep their hands to themselves so that we can minimize that spread and that contact in any way that we can.
So our restroom policy, restrooms are open in the Panther Plaza and the hallways. Students are using the restrooms during passing periods, lunchtime, after the first 15 minutes of class, or before the last 15 minutes of class. Those are some of the crucial times where we are going over the most important agenda items and homework items. So we do prefer that the students are in class for that time. When they're using the restroom, they are using hall passes with the teacher's name and room number. And CCMS encourages our Panthers to report any incidents where school property is vandalized or damaged so we can fix it right away. And our campus has hand washing stations located around campus equipped with soap and water and paper towels. Going along with some of the rules is the cell phone policy. I know that we spent 2 years where the students were able to use their cell phones at any time, students and adults alike. But while they are on campus, it is turned off or silent, and it is placed in their backpack between the school hours of 8:15 and 2:15. If your Panther has zero period, that also starts a little bit earlier as well. And Panthers phoning home. If Panthers need to phone home, we ask that they use the phone in the main office. Please call the main office parents if you need to get a hold of your Panthers as well. We do encourage our students to not look at their cell phones. And if a parent is calling, I know that they feel like it is important to pick up, and we want to stress that it should stay in their backpacks. And cell phone misuse, the first time the phone is taken up to the office and the students pick it up. The second time the phone is taken up to the office and the parent or guardian has to pick it up. And the third time, hopefully that doesn't happen, but the phone is taken up to the office and the student and parent pick up the phone together after school, and the student will receive an individual cell phone check-in plan.
Okay, PE clothes. So students are now dressing out for PE in middle school. For a couple of grades, I would say for all 7th and 6th graders, this is the first time that they're dressing out for PE. And it's so important, not only that they have the clothes that can be purchased through the student store, the CCMS attire, or on your own if you have your plain gray shirt or the blue shorts without pockets. But whatever they decide to wear, these clothes need to be washed. So every week, make sure that your students are clearing out their locker, taking home the clothes, washing them and bringing them back. So this is one of those responsibility things that the PE teachers will be working with all your students with, and reminding them to take their clothes home and wash them. It is very apparent to the teachers and the students which ones are washing the clothes and which ones are not, because that gray starts to become brown. And we don't want your student to be the one with the brown PE shirt. And so so make sure you bring your clothes back to school on the first day that they have PE. And also the time that they have in the locker room is 7 minutes is the maximum, but the locker room time should be efficient. We want to be in and out of the locker room. It's not a time for students to socialize. It's really a time for them to dress in and dress out, do what they need to do. They need to use the restroom and be back out on their numbers and ready for activity.
So if you are wondering, how can you get help if you need it? There's a lot of different areas of school that you might need assistance with. So if you're wondering about academics or grades, we're going to encourage you to reach out directly to that classroom teacher because they know what's going on in their classroom the best. If you've got social emotional concerns, that's why you have a school counselor. We encourage you to reach out to us so that we can help support your student. If you have a safety concern, that's when you might reach out to an assistant principal. Let them know what your safety concern is. If you have an absence, that is when you go to your attendance clerk. Our attendance clerks are divided by last name, and they will be your attendance clerk for your entire time here at CCMS. So I always tell parents, save their emails in your cell phone wherever you need to so you can forward those doctor's notes. If you have a health concern or COVID related concerns about testing, about quarantine, anything that has to do with COVID, then you're going to head directly to the nurse's office and speak with our nurse's office. And if your kiddo is so excited about sports, or you want to know how they can get more involved, different things that are going on at CCMS, check the website. So much awesome information on our website. We work really hard to keep it updated so that you can have the most up-to-date information. If you are worried about your students' academics or their attendance, make the initial contact with the teacher. All right, so that teacher knows what's going on in their classroom. If you're worried about your students' mental health or that you think they're in need of some social emotional support, reach out to the school counselor. That's our job to help you with that. If you're looking to seek academic help for your Panther, as you're getting back in the swing of things, you're realizing that you need some help as a parent helping your Panther stay on track. We recommend that you check your students' grades on that parent portal about 1 time a week. Our teachers are updating those grade books in about that same time frame, so it should give you a little bit of a snapshot. You also want to check your students' work submissions in their Google Classrooms. I always tell parents a Google Classroom is what's upcoming. Sometimes once we see it on the parent portal, it's too late. You've already missed it. So making sure that you're checking that work submission on the Google Classroom. Also, your student is using Enriching Students to sign up for PAWS. They can show you how they're signing up for PAWS and the different PAWS classes that they're going to. So you can say, hey, you're having a little bit of trouble with this science project, maybe sign up for that science PAWS with your teacher to get that extra time within the school day to make sure that we're going to be successful. If you do have concerns, you're going to contact the teacher. Email's the best way, especially post-COVID. We're all very, or post-lockdown, we're all very aware and checking our emails. So that's a great way to get in touch. You also might just want to encourage your student, like, hey, where have you been going for pause? Could you make smarter choices? What do you need to do and how can I help you manage your time? And then also encouraging your student to go for help after school, either to classrooms, go see their teacher, or to the library. Our library is open until 4 o'clock every day. And give it time. Work with your student and the teacher for about a month. Give them this space to grow. Encourage those small victories and really allow them to build up those habits. Middle school is all about us building up really positive habits so they can follow them to high school. They might need some encouragement on building those habits. And if your student is in need of additional support after doing this, the school counselor can support in hosting a parent-teacher conference. Our parent-teacher conferences are our very first step after you've talked with the teacher, you've kind of tried at home to be supportive, your student's taking advantage of pause, and you're still feeling like they're really still struggling. What else can we do? Then we would transition into a parent-teacher conference. And then from there, we might, if we put some stuff in place and we're feeling like it's not quite enough, our student needs even more support, we might call a student success team meeting. So all of these ways are ways you can support your Panther, and we're going to help you all along the way. All right, so those academic helps one more time. This is a great slide just to keep in mind, print it out, put it on your fridge, whatever. Academic help after school library club. The library is open at 7:30 in the morning all the way until 4 o'clock. So they are welcome to come to the library. Students are encouraged to communicate directly with their teachers, either after class, after school, or send them an email. And if parents have questions or concerns about that class, you should also go directly to the teacher. We also really encourage our students to use pause. That means making smart choices about which pause sessions they're going to attend, really helping them to start figuring out how to organize their time, how to manage their time. Academic classes should take priority to attending PE for pause. So if you have a concern about an academic class, double check with your kiddo that they are heading to that academic class for the pause session rather than the temptation of maybe going where their friends might be going. You also, every single student has a school counselor that they can access for academic, social, emotional supports, college and career readiness. We have our hands in lots of it, and we love to act as advocates for your student and acting as a go-between between parents and the school.
All right, so how do I seek social emotional support for my Panther? So here are some things that we'd like to encourage at home, and including some steps that you can take or encourage your student to take. So first is talking with your students about their feelings and allowing space for them to have, whether they are negative or positive feelings. Returning to school has created some big feelings for a lot of Panthers, and a lot of times we've seen they just need the space to talk about it. Ask your student what additional supports they would be interested in. We are always encouraging that middle school is a time for self-advocacy and building that autonomy, that we want to include the student in making decisions about their life with them. You can encourage your student to talk to their school counselor, like Ms. Lazat said, or reach out to their school counselor. Some of the things that we offer from the CCMS School Counseling Office is short-term, brief individual counseling. We are offering group counseling in a wide variety of topics, including grief, self-esteem, LGBTQ supports. And then we're also going to be offering pause sessions on social emotional learning topics that are open to any student to sign up for pause. So that's something they could be on the lookout for, and that information will be in their grade level Google Classroom, as well as the Sunday paw print that you all will see. And then also talk to your school counselor about referrals to our Sandy Siegel Youth Health Center or outside counseling referrals for more of that long-term therapy need. We would like to encourage you to empower your Panther. Like I said, middle school is a time for them to practice these skills, and some of these soft skills that they did not have to practice in Zoom school are coming into play, and we want to help them develop that. So under self-advocacy, Really encouraging your Panther to be the one to do the talking with the teacher, or write the email to the teacher, or to make the phone call, so that they are putting into their own words how they feel about what's happening for them. Helping them brainstorm ways to solve their problem, helping them seek out a trusted adult. And we know sometimes in middle school that adult is a parent at home, and sometimes it's a parent or it's an adult other places in their world. But as long as it's a trusted adult, that's what we want to encourage them to seek out. And then also practicing integrity and to speak up when they know something is not okay. Middle school is a time when choices are being made by our peers around us. So we want to encourage Panthers to have integrity and to speak up if they know something's not quite right for themselves or others. And really practicing that responsibility. Like Miss Lazat said, we are in charge of our own items. We're in charge of taking care of our own backpacks and stuff, but also encouraging your Panther to write their homework down, have a system of remembering what they are responsible for their academics, practicing self-control and following school rules, having responsibility for their own actions and seeking support when they need it from their school counselor, from their administrators out at lunchtime, from the security guards, keeping themselves and others safe by letting a trusted adult know when they are worried about themselves or others, and keeping their hands to themselves. So Panthers have a lot of opportunities to practice these responsibilities and self-advocacy, and we are here to help support them along the way with it too. As their school counselors, we go into students' classrooms about every 6 weeks or so to deliver counseling lessons. So we wanted to provide you with a little bit of a counseling curriculum preview so you have an understanding of what topics will be covered for your student this school year. These lessons happen in their grade level core content classes, so math, language arts, science, and social studies. And we provide lessons for their Panther Pod. That is their 7th period on Monday. They are on different topics like college and career, social, emotional, and academics. And I'm going to give you a little preview of 3 of the curriculums that we use. So the first, or one of the curriculums that we use that your students will have in November is SOS Signs of Suicide. This is in accordance with an ed code that was passed a couple of years ago, that students are learning mental health definitions, warning signs of sadness, depression, and suicidality. They're learning our ACT acronym, which stands for Acknowledge, Care, and Tell, where we will help students identify trusted adults and know when to act on the care and tell portion, and then steps to taking to help themselves or a friend. And if you'd like more information about this curriculum, the link for the parent information is at the bottom, and these slides will get posted on our school website. We also use second step curriculum. You may be familiar with this, or it may sound familiar from elementary school. This is a TK through 8 curriculum, and we focus on lessons around mindsets and goals, sexual harassment, bullying, decision-making, emotion regulation, and managing relationships. And again, there's a link for you to check it out further. These will also be done with small groups and in their core content area classrooms. And then Naviance is our college and career curriculum, where we do college and career exploration activities. So middle school is all about the exploration, just seeing what are the options out there for students and how can they dive in deeper into that exploration and research so that they are ready for their secondary and post-secondary education. So in 6th grade, we do what's called a career interest profiler, where they answer a bunch of questions about themselves, and it helps them see what different careers could fall under areas that they're interested in. In 7th grade, we do what's called a 4-year planner, where they start to map out what classes they should take in high school to be high school graduation ready. And in 8th grade, they do a super match for college, where they look at different criteria, and it helps them see what colleges have that criteria across the United States. So again, it's all about exploration, and here's the link for you to check it out as well. And then we always like to provide the hotline numbers. This is a good thing to just screenshot. It's also on the back side of your student's ID card. This is in case your student or one of their friends may need support. These are all 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay, each month we have monthly themes. This month from September 15th through October 15th, we're celebrating Latinx Heritage Month. There are going to be, or there have been lessons during pods where students get to learn some of the history and some of the amazing things that they may not have known about Latinx or Latinx people around the world. There's music during lunchtime. There's a pause for students to go and learn how to dance. And there's also going to be a movie night on October 15th. So that's something to look forward to that you can calendar for your Panthers.
So I've been asked several times when the next time Panther gear will be sold. Spirit gear will be sold at the Halloween event and the movie night. So the movie night is, we are showing Vivo, and ASB will be hosting that on Friday, October 15th. It's from 6:30 to 8:30. It is at CCMS, and more information will be given to the students, but there is also a permission slip attached. Spooky Treat and Dance is happening October 21st and the 22nd from 5 to 7 p.m. at CCMS. Tricks and treats, music, and more. So hopefully all of your Panthers will be joining us on those days. And I am happy to introduce Lauren Jagnow, who is our CCMS PTA president. Lauren, are you here with us? Okay, I actually do not see Lauren, but I can start presenting on the PTSA. Joining PTSA, it is $8 to join PTSA, and it helps us support so many of our wonderful programs, events, and opportunities for all of our students at our school. A portion of the dues stays at our school, and the rest goes to support the work and service of the California State PTA and National PTA. In order to join, you can visit Totem, which is the system for California State PTA, or you can go to the QR code and click there, and it will take you to join. So only $8, and it's definitely worth it to join. And to maybe sweeten the deal just a little bit more, on the next slide is these are some of the perks that you will receive if you join PTA. I personally have gone to the tea very, very recently, and I really love it. So I would definitely encourage you to join PTA. And if I can give a moment to Deanna Newell, she can go over the annual giving campaign as well. Just give me 1 sec to unmute Deanna, and we will hear from PTA.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you look and sound great.
Okay. Hi, this is Tiana. I got pulled into this last minute, so I'm going to improvise this because I had everything typed out, but I don't have it in front of me now because Laura was supposed to say it. I'm here to talk about the annual giving campaign. This year, we are running an annual giving campaign from the PTSA and the Panther Partners together to raise money for our school. Our goal is to raise $100,000 in 100 days with 100% participation. So far, we've raised about $36,000. Yay, which is fantastic, but only 10% of our community has actually participated in the campaign. So I'm here to ask you to please, if you have not donated already, every dollar counts. Whatever your family is able to contribute, we would ask. If every family gave just $5, we'd raise like $7,300 for our community. So if you can give $1 or $5, any amount you can give is really worth it. All the money that's donated supports things like the athletics program at CCMS, the web program, teacher supplies for all the classrooms, parent education programs, special ed, and the new DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee that we formed. It supports so much that the district just can't help us with. So any donations are really worthwhile. And if you happen to donate $250 before November 10th, which is the end of our campaign, you will receive a free CCMS Panther drinkware gift set. And you can see a picture of that in the paw print each week. And for those of you that have already donated, those will be going home with your students next Monday. So keep a lookout for that. And thank you again to everybody who's already participated in our campaign. We're so excited to reach our goal this year.
Thank you so much, Deanna. All right, and that is the CCMS 100 campaign that she was speaking about. So this is the visit schedule for the rest of the night. It's going to be between 6 and 8 p.m. Classroom visits are 12-minute visits, and there's a 5-minute transition. I know that if we are in person, it's really fun for the students to watch the parents scramble between the hallways and the classrooms, and they're like, see, that's why I'm late to class sometimes. This is now just figuring out a virtual Zoom link, which, you know, sometimes in my experience is just as hard to, you know, navigate within 5 minutes. So period 0, if your child has 0 period, starts at 6 p.m., goes from 6 to 12. Period 1, 6:17 to 6:29, 6:34 to 6:46 for period 2, and so on and so forth. There is also a link that was in the principal's paw print with all of the classes and all of the teachers assigned. Please be careful because some of the teachers do teach different classes depending on the period. So if you can, you should stick to the schedule as best you can. And thank you so much for joining us tonight.